It's basket making month and also project month out here at Nature Live Adventures. And I'll show you what I'm doing today with spruce bark. Got this big spruce tree that I just cut down with my chainsaw, and it's sitting on my tractor, and I'm debarking it. And I'm going to save these big slabs here and let them dry out, because I'm going to use these for shelter building. These are going to be my shingles and roofing for shelter building. So we'll start with this piece right here. I'm just going to take it off in one slab. First of all, when I took the chainsaw to it, I cut really nicely along the branches. I took the branches off very carefully. There's a couple left still, and I didn't want to chew too deeply into the bark. I wanted to leave as much bark as I could and just take the branch off. That's the first step. Here's the second step, is I'll take my knife and I'll just scribe a line straight down the edge, and I'll do it again. Make sure that I'm through the cambium, through the outer and inner bark. And we're in the end of May right now, and the bark, the sap is moving and the bark will come off nice and easy. And now I'll scribe down this way a little ways, and I'm just going to show you how we start it. I'll go like that. That's probably enough to start. Same thing this way. Otherwise it tears if you don't give it a nice straight edge. It'll just tear and then you'll get ugly edges. Now I'll start back right over here, and I'll start by lifting it, because this tree is fairly big. The bark is thick. And I just get my knife under there and start going down it, being careful to make sure that it raises up. Right, like that. There we go. I'm just starting the edge. Nice. And I like to go all the way down to where my cut was. Good. Okay, and so that's what it looks like. There's the wood. This is the cambium that's all sticky and full of sap and juicy liquid. And I've just gone ahead and lifted that up. And I'll keep my knife handy, but what I've got is this tool here. It's just a piece of plastic. This could be anything round and fairly rigid, and it really helps because I can roll it right under there, and it just, at this time of year, it slides that bark right up and off. And wherever there's a branch, I have to be careful. So like right here, there's a bit of a branch, so I'll get my knife in there and I'll just pop it so that the bark slides over and it leaves like a little nail or a little pin of the branch behind. And then I'll carry back on with this guy. So I can slice or I can roll with this, and it just makes the job faster, and it's more precise than just pulling like this. I have done it where I've laid a big stick along the back and used the stick to pry evenly, but I find you get tears. And now I've gravitated toward using a round disc. It seems to work so much better and have so much more success. There's a couple of branches that I gotta go around, and now I'll work it the other direction. So let's go over and look at this one. So I've already started on this one, and as you can see, it's coming off nicely, and there's the little branches left behind, and each one leaves a little hole. But we're close. Pretty soon I'll tear this whole thing off. Alright, so if you look further back on our Instagram channel, you'll see a post where I built this basket last year, and it was this bark that I made this basket out of, and it's quite a beautiful little basket. It's got spruce roots on it too, and these little strips is this bark with the rough part scraped out. You'll have to look at the Instagram post to see that, but that's why I say it's basket making month, because we can make beautiful baskets with this bark. Anyways, back to this. Look, we're getting close. Just about off in one big piece. And I'm taking care not to bend it too far backwards. If I bend it too far backwards, it will crack. Look at that. Here we go. We're going to pop off right now. And I didn't quite make my knife cut through here, so I have to try to make that through. There. Look at the size of this piece of bark. Isn't that cool? So next, what I'll do, oh look, there, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. So I'm gonna just let it dry flat now. And if I let it dry in the flat shape, it'll stay flat. If I just throw it on the ground and let it dry like this, it'll start to curl up and crack. So we wanna make sure it's flat with weight on top of it and let it dry like that. And then it'll be a big, useful shingle for shelter building. And this is how I've decided to dry them out. I have a lot of pallets laying around. And of course, if you do this, you could figure it out. But there's two slabs there. Their outer bark is facing outer bark on these two slabs. So right here is the first slab. You can see my foot touching it, and there's the second one. And then I lay a pallet on top to keep them nice and flat and let them dry. And I'm drying them here in the barn because I don't want to dry them in full sun. I'd like them to dry in the shade and have a slow dry, just so they don't crack and become brittle. So the garage floor is covered with flat bark. Some of them are still fairly fresh and just drying, so that's why they're facing down. But a lot of these are dry now. And there's also some in the other room there. This Wickiup shelter at Grand Cache, Alberta, is the inspiration for the shelter that I want to build using this peeled spruce bark. And here you can see I'm just getting a feel for how it was built using planks and the shape of it and the poles and the various design elements throughout the Wickiup shelter. And here's a few photos of other Wickiup shelters that I found online. Some are covered with bark, some are covered with simply logs or split logs. In some cases they were covered with birch bark, and in some cases I discovered they were covered in spruce bark. The word Wickiup comes to us from the indigenous peoples of the southwestern United States, and surprisingly also that term Wickiup was used in northwest Alberta, Canada. Good work up there.
And we'll need 2 people to
Do is just kind of spin it a bit and push like that, yeah. And then shove it in there a ways, turn it. It's not video, and then stick them in there. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. And push. And twist.
Yeah, until you get a hole through. Can you put that hole through? Yeah. Set it up in the shade.
Set it up in the shade. And it's...
Who's in there?
It's a fun job, too. You just sit around and do nothing.
That's it. Where are you going to haul that to?
And we have a backyard. If somebody would like to come through the back.
Let's see what we got here. Nice. Moss. Door open up. Awesome. Nice little doorway. And inside, coziest shelter. Nice.
Logs start eating logs to keep from...
We fit the whole entire class!
This comes on, you can close it and open it. Boom!
Nice.